Hi, it's Kevin May from PhocusWire, joined here in the PhocusWire studio by Lin Xu. You're the partner for China at Cambon Partners. So
Yes.
thank you very much for joining us. So,
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So, we've had a few discussions with financial people about what some of the general trends in the market. Something that's come up a few times is this general idea that perhaps things are slowing down in China, first of all. Someone described it earlier as a winter.
Well, you want me to come on this? First of all, if you're only looking at digital travel and travel tech, things are a bit slower. But if you look at travel in a whole, it's still quite the investment is still quite active in the whole spectrum of travel. So it's just shifted a little bit from distribution side to the supply side.
Okay.
So it used to focus on online distribution and technology related to distribution. Now the distribution online is relatively consolidated. I'm not talking about offline, okay? It's still very fragmented, which yet to be consolidated, but on the online space is relatively consolidated with players like Ctrip and Meituan and Tongcheng Yilong, etc. So the money start to shift to the supply side, and including content, technology on the supply side. And in this part, probably people outside of China don't see it, but there's a lot of investment going into that.
So is it for those reasons then that you said there is a slowing down on the digital travel side? It's just that because there are these such big players now that the opportunity is perhaps not there?
I think it's only a part of digital side, the distribution part. But in terms of supply, let's say digitalization of a supply chain, it's still quite active. And also in connectivity, it's still going on actively. So it's, on the distribution is a bit slower.
Do you think that's going to come back at some point though?
I absolutely think so. I actually think this trend always develop in a way that is a bit like a zigzag.
Okay.
Yeah, you have concentration, and then wherever there's oppression, there's rebellions, right? So you have, with the technology advancement, you have other ways of disrupting the current order. And then then it goes more fragmented again. I can give you one example. It's a new trend in China. Is now you have a community-based sales based on Wechat system, Wechat ecosystem. Okay, so let's say I have a neighbor, and this lady stays at home. She manages 10 Wechat groups. Each group usually have 500 people. That's the top limit. So she manages 5,000 customers living around her community, and she sells them everything, including travel. And that's a new way of distribution, fragmented. I would call it online, but it's on the,
So she's like a WeChat travel agent then?
No, she sells meal plans as well. She sells education programs, insurance, or whatever. She
but
sells
one
everything.
element is she's acting as a travel agent.
Exactly. No, she's selling other tour operators, let's say, products, or she's selling excursions, or things like that. So she become a POS for travel, but also other things. And this is all sitting on the WeChat ecosystem. These are the new distribution scenes in China. Which are still, I feel it's a bit new, so it's a bit obscure for people outside.
But these are individuals, so is there an investment opportunity there if it's just someone doing it in their community?
The local VCs are actually actively investing this kind of KOL based companies. So over here it's not just travel anymore. Travel is only one component of what they can sell.
Okay. No, that's an interesting concept. I mean, WeChat is not used very much here at all. So I just wonder whether that would be something that would eventually kind of spread to other markets.
I think there's regulation limitation.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would think this is really the most user-friendly super app. Much better than WhatsApp or other things.
Okay, that's very interesting. So one of the themes of this conference is, or the theme for this conference is empires on the edge, and to go back to what you were already saying about, Ctrip is this huge player in China, and some of the other brands as well. Where are they most vulnerable, do you think, as companies?
You mean Ctrip?
Yeah.
Ctrip is tackling still 20% of the market. The
Yeah.
online market in China is 20% or a bit close to that.
Yeah.
So the other 80% is still offline.
Yeah.
And that's
So they've got more opportunity to get to, well, to take advantage of first before they become vulnerable.
I think they don't see themselves vulnerable. They focus, they first tackle that, and they're heavily investing in offline business now. They're buying up shops, travel stores.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are buying a lot. I mean, so they see that you know, the offline market is still quite big, and to grow their business, that's one place they need to go. But at the same time, they don't really have the genes to really doing hands-on servicing like these travel agents, right?
Right.
And the travel agents in China are very fragmented. So I see opportunities in this as well in terms of technology, because there could be technology tools that will empower these very fragmented offline agents to sell travel.
Okay. But they're also making investments into other markets outside of China. Make My Trip is
Yes.
So, I mean, how far do you think they will go with that?
How far?
Yeah.
There's no limit.
Yeah.
There's no limit. I think they first go to the new emerging markets because there are less legacy in terms of competition or consumer behavior, etc. So they try to copy paste their China experience in these new markets.
Right.
Yeah.
But do you sense that they would try and go to a region that isn't an emerging market and go head to head with some other powerful companies?
There are not many out there.
That's actually a good point. Okay, and lastly, Lin, I mean, if we were lucky enough to be sat here in 2 years' time, what do you think we would be talking about in terms of where the investment market is and things like that in China, which you represent?
Well, 2 years from now, first of all, there will be a lot of. I think China is going more and more into ecosystems. So in the Western world, we still see verticals. You're OTA, you're a product, you're a supplier, whatever. In China, it's more about building ecosystem. So everything is connected. Maybe there's one big company, they do from A to Z. And also, not just in travel, A to Z in life, whatever it is. I mean, transportation, food delivery, clothes, shopping, you name it.
Like Amazon, perhaps here in the West, would you say?
Yeah, except I think I do see, for example, the Wechat would be perhaps a very, very powerful super app down the line in people's life, because you don't need to go on website. And with their payments, instant payment, the payment connection, I mean, this will develop much more aggressively, especially if they are able to step out of China more aggressively. I think in 2 years from now, I think there will be diversification still. But super app will be
Watch
will
out
be
for the
challenging.
super app then.
Super app and Google are both, for me, are threats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Lin Xu. Thank you very much.